I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Dude, what a fucking week of the UFC. What a week. And it had nothing to do with the fights either.
Yeah, big week for upcoming week, UFC 294.
I know. That was, and it was right after we recorded the first episode. It was like that night or the next day. And everything just hit the fan.
Yeah.
Look,
And I'll tell you, I'm real upset because I was looking forward to this rematch, Charles and Volk, and now I'm kind of pissed that Volk's taking the fight on 1 week notice, you know? I wanted Volk to get a full camp to beat Islam, I mean.
I know, but that's going to make him look so good when he comes out and wins.
Yeah, if he comes out and wins.
When he comes out and wins. He won the first fight, dude.
I thought he won the first fight, too.
I think he won the first fight. He skated out 3 rounds.
Yeah, but he also had home field advantage, like we talked about last week. You know, so every shot he was landing, the crowd was going nuts for, even like little tiny jabs.
Yeah, I mean, well, I saw like the output like some on like Twitter, and it was Islam had like 7 minutes of control time against like almost 3 minutes for Volk, but Volk had like triple the amount of strikes.
Yeah, and I feel like Volk rocked him a few times on the feet.
That was also with Volk. Like Islam had his back for a lot of the time too, and he was still hitting him with shots.
Yeah, yeah. So if Volk goes in with the mentality like, you know what, I took the fight on 1 week's notice, I'm going balls to the wall, which it sounds like he is because in his interview he said all the pressure's on Islam. He might be able to get it done. You know?
He's correct with all of it going on Islam. That's 100%.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's gonna make him look even better.
My question is though, is if Volk loses another close decision, when's the third fight now? Can you do a third fight?
I'm not a fan of rolling out a third fight if you've already lost the first 2.
Like Holloway Volk type.
Yeah,
type
like
thing.
I think that's to the point where Max is still, like we said last week, how he's still pretty young even though he's been fighting for so long. You kind of and he's rolled through that division. You kind of have to give him the fourth shot, but I'm still like not the biggest fan on it.
So Volk had a rematch guaranteed with Islam at some point. Are you saying that it might have been a mistake taking it on 1 week's notice because if he loses, he might not get a third fight?
I don't know, dude. I think Volk's so good. He is making a big weight cut though. He has to cut like 26 or 27 pounds in 1 week. In 1 week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But a guy like Volk, like taking it on a week's notice, I think that gives him some leeway for a third. Like give him a full camp. Let him
Was
go.
he training? When did they announce the Ethiopia fight with him?
I can't remember when they announced it or when that was slated.
Okay.
I can't remember. I'm gonna see if I can try to look that up in the meantime. Okay. But so were you upset with Charles getting?
Yeah, I really wanted to see. I'm a big Charles fan. I wanted to see Charles do it, but I saw Dana's interview first when he was kind of shitting on him, like they shouldn't have sewed it up themselves, stitched it up themselves. But I saw the cut, and I was like, dude, there's no way. Even if the UFC's best plastic surgeons stitched him up, he could have fought, 10 days later. So it was already a lost cause.
Yeah, I think, was it him? Dana came out and said, I can't remember if it was Costa or if it was Charles. Like, they told him after he had, like, gotten it stitched up. And he's like, well, we would have sent you to a plastic surgeon to get it stitched up from the inside.
Yeah, Dana was trying to make it seem like if Charles handled it the right way, he still could have been able to fight this week. I don't think so by seeing the cut.
That cut was so deep,
yeah,
dude. It was
deep
huge.
Yeah. How the hell do you let that happen?
I was going to say, why are you sparring like that with a week to go?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't understand how anyone could let that happen.
What do you like more? Did you like the Charles fight more than Volk, or do you like the Volk fight
No, I've
better?
always been more pumped for the Volk fight. So, like, I'm more pumped for Volk to fight, 100%. But like I said, I want him to have the full camp. I'm worried for him. He's my favorite fighter on the roster right now, so I really want a Volk win. I've never seen him on 10 days' notice.
So this is a Volk pod officially?
Yeah.
Is officially okay? Good. Yeah.
For me, at least.
No. For me,
this
I
half
am
is Volk
this.
pod.
This
half is Cowboy Cerrone, want to be tough guy pod.
No, he is a tough guy. He's a.
You should start wearing your
dude.
cowboy hat.
I have to get a cowboy hat for the pod now.
Yeah,
I have to.
off, yeah. Maybe this Friday, if we do it, if we can pull one off, we'll watch Cowboy versus Nate live.
We could do that. We have some ideas. We can get into that for sure. But Chimaev and Kamaru Usman is an unbelievable matchup. I cannot. Dude, Paulo Costa Did you see that? Did you see his elbow?
Yeah,
It
I
was
saw the picture like yesterday. or this morning.
gross,
Yeah,
dude.
disgusting.
That was that's terrible. It was disgusting.
And he was saying he didn't want to pull out. I was like, dude,
you have to pull. You have to pull.
Gonna clear you.
Yeah, you have to pull out when you have staff, especially to that degree, dude. His
Yeah.
elbow was disgusting.
I was pumped to see that fight though, Paula, because they have some bad blood. Him and Kumshot.
I wasn't really too excited. I was more excited for Hamzat because I've been in on him at the ground level, Chimaev. But Paulo is coming off as the guy who just can't get out of his own way.
Yeah.
Like what was his last fight? Vittori. He lost and he showed up overweight. Was that his last fight?
Luke Rockhold. Does Luke Rockhold fight?
Oh wait, yeah, I can't remember which one came. But that was like the most recent fight that I could remember was when he came in way overweight and got smoked by Vittori.
Yeah.
And
He fucked up Luke Rockhold though.
Yeah, I mean.
In Mexico.
Oh, that was in Mexico.
Yeah, that was when it had high elevation, so people were worried about like all the fighters were getting gassed like 2 minutes into the fight because that elevation was so high.
Oh yeah.
So it like looked real sloppy at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I think Costa's he just can't get out of his own way, which I think is infuriating because just a couple years ago he was potentially the next guy in that division, and
he's still a physical freak.
Izzy raw dogged him.
Yeah.
He broke him. Izzy broke him. Because what's he done? He hasn't done anything since, and he has the Twitter fingers, and
He is funny though. He's got the best Twitter in the UFC.
He is funny, but I mean, he's kind of up there with like Darren Till. It's like, are you training to fight? Are you gonna fight again? Or are you just gonna sit there and just be really funny on Twitter and just kind of like have one foot in, one foot out? That's what I feel like kind of Coach is doing.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? This was gonna be Khamzat's first fight at 185, anyways, right?
His first official fight at 185. Because what did he fight when he fought there?
He's been 170.
He fought Holland.
Oh,
so he fought Kevin Holland, but that was unofficial because he missed weight.
Yeah. So now it kind of works out good because he was going to be facing a true 185er. Now it's like two welterweights just not cutting weight to go to 185.
Yeah. What did I saw another graphic. Hamzat hasn't been taken down in his UFC career, and Usman is not like over 97% defense, takedown defense.
Yeah. So it might be stand up then.
How do you think that fight goes?
I think Usman wins.
You really think he's going to benefit more from being at 85 than Hamzat?
I watched the Burns Hamzat fight, and I was like, okay, Usman could definitely beat this guy. I saw what Usman did to Burns, and then I saw what Burns did to Khamzat. So I know you're not supposed to do MMA math like that, but that's what I did in my own head. I think Usman wins for sure.
Yeah, he does have a lot. He does have like the big fights under his belt. He's obviously super seasoned. He's one of the best welterweights ever walked the planet.
Well, you're a Khamzat dick rider. What did you think when he fought Burns? It looked like shit.
Burns was the first person to make him look human.
Yeah,
because
Burns is nasty too.
I think Burns is he's probably one of my favorite non-champions.
Did you see what McGregor tweeted at him this morning or something?
No.
He was like, Gilbert Burns, something lesbian.
Connor just going back at it on the Twitter, dude. That guy can't get off Twitter.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, I told you, me and Connor have had a tumultuous relationship. I started out as a huge fan, then I hated him for years. Now he's working his way back in with me, you know? And I agree on his take on the Dylan Dennis-Logan Paul fight, too.
What was his stance? So what that Dylan did?
He said, I was impressed by Dylan Dennis. So was I. I watched the whole fight. He didn't get knocked out.
I did not watch the fight. I just saw all the clips. It was a clown show. Dylan Dennis can sell a fight. Absolutely can sell a fight. I think Logan had some weak shit. He brought up Gordon Ryan with him. I'm like, that's like, what are you doing?
Dude, he also made a lawsuit against Dylan Dennis. So
his girlfriend, the fiance did.
Doesn't matter.
I still think that's kind of like weak. He's just a troll. Like, you're gonna sue a troll.
Yeah, dude. And if you want to be a snitch, then you're like, no one likes that. You know what I mean? You can't get the police involved when you're hyping a fight.
Yeah.
Involved when you're hyping a fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like really any of it. And then one of the best parts is when what's his name, Craig Hansen from Dateline came out. Dylan Dennis goes, "Aren't you not paying your fucking taxes, dude?" He's like, "Go pay your taxes." I thought that was hilarious. Like, I think he did really well, like, selling the fight. I didn't really watch any of it. I mean, I had a feeling he was going to end up kind of doing some, like, clown shit in the ring, and it kind of turned out that way.
He's a jiu-jitsu guy, jiu-jitsu, like, specialist, nasty. He was in Bellator, whatever. He might have taken an MMA fight. I'm not sure.
He was in Bellator. I think he has some fights under his belt in Bellator.
But Logan Paul's been training boxing for, like, 6 years now? Like, every day with, like, pros. And he couldn't fucking knock him out. Drake put, like,
he's also on the juice, dude. You see the size of him?
Yeah,
he's
dude,
shredded. He's on the sauce.
100%.
And Dylan Dennis was complaining about all the technicalities. He, like, was getting more time to cut the weight and all this other shit. Like,
yeah, they put weird stuff in the
they put it. Yeah, because
one,
this is the thing that drives me crazy. I think it's good for, like, Jake and Logan to, like, kind of bring boxing back and, like, have their own lane, which I think is fantastic. But at the same time, it's like you need to challenge people who are actually, like, boxers. Like, I respect Jake Paul a lot more for going against Tommy Fury. He's like, for me, I have a lot more respect for him. But, like, leading up to that, it's like, oh, you got Ben Askren, dude. Like, why are you getting Ben Askren? We all know he can't throw hands. Like, and same thing with Nate Diaz. Like, he's not the world's greatest striker. He was just a dude who can take a lot of damage and is a jiu-jitsu wizard. You know
well,
I
saw as of this morning that there's rumors that Jake Paul is fighting Jorge Masvidal in the boxing ring.
Jake's way bigger than Masvidal, isn't he?
Yeah,
so he's fighting another undersized fighter.
This is what he does. He takes these older, undersized MMA guys who are nasty at MMA, and he tries to get them in the boxing ring where they can't hang.
Right. Do you think that Jake will ever end up, or Logan ever end up doing an MMA match?
I heard Logan was a pretty good high school wrestler, so there was footage of him training with Paulo Costa too, like wrestling.
He'll probably get staff.
He might be able to, dude, but he's in the WWE now, probably making bigger money. So why would he take a real fight and get paid less?
Right. Well, my thing is I don't think either of them will, because I think, like, this spotlight and what they've built is just gonna come crashing down if they do an MMA fight.
Why, you think because they get fucked up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's no way they don't get fucked up when they're facing someone who can actually do jiu-jitsu, or, like, they'll pick, like, the one guy who's, like, more of a Muay Thai, karate, like, striker or boxer, so they know they'll kind of end up standing up with just smaller gloves. But I don't see them ever doing an MMA fight, because I think what they've built doesn't last, because I don't think they ever win.
But what if they pull off a win in MMA?
If they pull off a win, then kudos to, like, hats off to them. But I don't think they ever will. I think they're going to stick to boxing. They're going to stick in their own lane. They'll pick the older fighters who aren't really great strikers, and they're just going to take that. They're undersized. They're going to continue to do that.
Okay.
And they're just going to pay these guys that they know, like, hey, like, you're going to get more than, like, your life's earnings from the UFC in one paycheck.
I see what you're saying. Like, they got to stick to the boxing, 'cause that's where they could sell it.
Right, exactly.
I don't get their ass kicked in MMA.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, because the whole MMA fan base is like, come do a real fight.
They're also juiced up too, so they wouldn't. Well, there is no USADA anymore, so maybe they would pass.
Yeah, what did USADA do to McGregor that, like, treated him unfairly that made the UFC drop them?
Dude, so they just wanted McGregor to be able to fight and not have to be in the pool for 6 months, but USADA is like very, very strict, and you got to be in 6 months, got to be in 6 months. So Dana, like, said, like, a couple years ago, like, who cares what USADA says? Like, maybe a couple months ago, who cares what USADA says? We'll do what we want. And they were like, no, he has to be in it. He has to be in it. So Dana was like, dude, you're like an employee of ours. So they cut the contract with USADA, and USADA released a statement right away that Dana called scumbagism, pretty much just saying, like, we feel really bad for all the other fighters. We try to keep it at an even playing field for everyone, and Dana got pissed about it, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, because I think they said, I don't know. I thought they maybe released, like, what he was on, because, like, he's obviously, like, on, like, peptides and all this other shit, and when you're in USADA, you can't do that. I think every fighter should be able to use peptides and, like, other, performance enhancers to help soft tissue injuries. Like, look,
100%, dude.
They should all be allowed to some degree be able to use that to keep them healthy, get them healthy quicker, get them back in the ring.
Yeah, that's what Rogan said too. Is like, if you're not letting people use these drugs to, like, heal and, like, and they're not off competition stuff, then, you know. I
think all sport. I've been saying that, especially in the sports like baseball, where it's like Mike Trout, one of the greatest players on the planet. Half of the Angels gave him a $500 million contract. You're telling me that they somehow haven't worked a deal to, like, start trying to push that narrative to be like, we should be giving these guys these drugs to help them stay on the field. Look at all the money we just dumped into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're huge investments. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm glad USADA's gone. Thank God.
Yeah, I don't know what are they just going to handle everything internally now?
That's what they said. Yeah, they're going to do, like, an internal thing, like, bring somebody in.
Oh yeah, no, I think the guy who they brought in, he like interrogated Saddam Hussein.
Oh
or some
yeah,
shit.
yeah, they said that.
Yeah, that guy. He's gonna if anybody's on some, he's gonna fucking sniff it out, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna be waterboarded.
Oh yeah, no doubt, dude. Yeah, that was like I can't believe Conor just handed an L to USADA. That's how powerful and how good he was, and still like his name still carries. Is that they cut USADA to get him in the fucking ring?
Yeah,
that is incredible.
But I think it's gonna benefit everyone. I want to see like TRT Vitor back. I want to see these like old ass dudes jacked up on like TRT.
I mean,
again.
Vitor, I think, was a little much, dude. You could see how deflated he looked, and he was off all that.
Well,
shit,
let everyone
dude.
do it.
Look at Overeem. I don't know, like I heard like Rogan say he's like, oh, like I'd love to see guys like that come back and like an Overeem, like all those dudes. But I'm like, how safe is that to have some like Bisbing? Like, look at he lost a fucking eye because of Vitor when he was on all the fucking juice.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about giving them everything, but I think giving them enough to stay healthy and get back in the ring and have them.
You got to
heal up.
pick your battles.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just how I feel. As of right now, things could change. I kind of missed Overeem too.
I'll be like, if they loosen up on it a little bit though,
Yeah.
it'll be good. Like even just like if they're reviewing how much TRT they're doing, so they can't get jacked up like Vitor.
Yeah, if they
But
monitor
if you could
it.
do TRT to get like a 38-year-old fighter to fight a couple extra years,
Like
I'm all for
cowboy
it.
would have been great on TRT. Like imagine him now if he was in the ring, all over. He's walking out with a belt, brother.
Dude, TRT does not bring a chin back, so Cowboy was fucked no matter
So
what.
Luke Rockhold would also be. in
Cowboy
trouble.
got rocked by McGregor's shoulders. I will never get rocked by a shoulder.
How much you want to bet?
Everything I got.
I think he'd rock you with his shoulders. Do you see those things? They're huge.
Dude, there's no. I mean, Cowboy's face looks like a Skeletor in the first place. He looks like he has no
Yeah, 'cause
chin.
he's fit,
So it
unlike
makes
the
sense
both
that
of
he
us.
can't eat a shot. You know what I mean? And it makes sense that he has to overcompensate for that and call himself badass. Name his ranch the Badass Motherfucking Ranch. Name his
It's
son
BMF Ranch.
Danger and Riot.
D-Rod trains
Yeah.
out of that gym too. They do mushroom kicks and shit out of there.
Because he overcompensates for his lack of chin.
Well, yeah, he lost it like everybody else does, dude. Like, look at Tony Ferg. We're back to Tony Ferg again. Is this repeat of episode 1?
Yeah, but like I said, Tony Ferg could still eat it, and he's
No,
pants.
he's down, dude. He's dead. He's dead. So who do you think? So who do you have if you those two big fights on that next card at 294?
I got you. I'll tell you right now. I'm going with who I want to win.
Well, oh yeah. So give me who you want and give me who you're actually putting money on because I know you're gonna throw money on that fight.
Who I want to win,
You want
Volk
Volk.
for sure, and then who I want to win, Usman for sure. Which I don't like Usman either, but I did not like Cumshot at all. So get him out of there, ruin his hype. He's annoying.
He's been pretty quiet up until the point where he said, like, up until a couple weeks ago, he's not representing Sweden anymore. He's now with like the UAE, the United Arab Nations, or whatever it is. He's like training out of there now because he doesn't like Sweden, because of their like lack of like freedom of speech and all that shit.
Is he actually Dagestani? Is he from?
He's from Chechnya.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Chechnyan.
So that's like right next door,
You
though,
don't
isn't it?
fuck with those guys, dude.
Okay. Well,
So-
I think we'll see Usman. I think Usman's gonna.
You think
fuck with
Usman?
him.
I want Chimaev and I want Volk. I think the Volk Islam fight's going to be. I could see someone getting rocked because Islam did clip him. Islam clipped him in that first fight, and then he also clipped him back. But I don't know, dude. That's a big weight cut, almost 30 pounds in about a week, a little bit more, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like 10 days, something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight for a guy, and he's like, he's jacked up too. I don't know. That is going to be a tough weight cut. He didn't have a full camp, but he's so fucking good. I can't doubt him. I mean, I'm 100% in on Volk.
So you're saying it's gonna be Volk by finish then? Or you think he can win a decision?
I
Because
don't.
you think he's gonna come in and cut 30 pounds on 10 days and have the cardio to go 5 rounds and win?
Yeah, that's a tall order, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. If he goes ball to the wall, go for the finish. But I feel like Volk always fights like that. I feel like Volk never fights like a pussy. Like he's always going.
Same
for the
thing with
finish.
Usman. Usman's the same way. Usman does like he could have let up against Leon Edwards. He had 4 rounds won. He hung in there at the end in the 5th round, and that's when Leon knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like Usman kept the pressure on. He could have easily just kind of just sat there, sat back, just kind of throw feints and just kind of these bullshit jabs, little leg kicks just to buy time, and he didn't.
Yeah, but Usman's also had like boring, smothering wrestling wins, whereas
Yeah.
Volk, I feel like, is just like the people's champ.
So do you think the Chimaev fight is going to be mostly stand-up? Who shoots first? I think Chimaev shoots first.
It could be like Colby versus Usman, where you have two great wrestlers and they're both so great at wrestling that they both just strike the whole time.
You think that's what it's gonna happen? I would love to. I would love to.
I
see
don't
those
think
two
so.
go
I
at
think Usman takes him down.
I think Chimaev shoots first because he's such a
Chimaev
psychopath.
might shoot first.
I think he shoots first. I don't know, dude. That's a tough one because I think they're both. I think Usman's going to benefit being at 185, not having to cut as much. I don't think his weight cut was even crazy to be welterweight. I don't think it was that wild, was it?
No.
But I think.
But so you.
Didn't Dana say that the winner of that fight is up for the middleweight belt? The winner.
Yeah, the winner of that fight is.
That's crazy that Usman could possibly, if he wins that, he's going to the title shot. That's crazy if he wins.
Yeah.
But that's. I like that fight so much better than the Costa fight. That's not even close. I'm all in. My official ruling for 294. Volk, dub. Chimaev, dub.
All right, so I'm Volk dub, Usman dub. So
Okay.
we'll see who comes out on top.
So it's official. We both agreed on something, so I'm glad that it was on Volk.
Yeah.
Perfect. And just dude, that main fight this past weekend, unbelievable. The greatest comeback I've ever seen.
Grandfather time, Edson Barbosa, the gift that keeps on giving, dude. That dude is never gonna retire.
Well, the thing was, I didn't take him in my picks because he was I think at the time 0-3 in main events. So I was like, oh, dude, there's no way he's at this age, no way. He almost got brutally knocked out in the first round, and then worked his way back and won the fight.
He was an underdog, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an underdog.
Okay.
Dude, he set up the spinning wheel kick to the head. He almost knocked out Yusuf. He had him wobbling, dude. The whole time. After the first round, I think it was like the next rounds 2, 3, and I think maybe 4. I can't remember when that kick happened. Just doing the spinning wheel kick to the body, and then he wound up for the wheel kick. Yusuf just crunched his side and left his head wide open and got smashed right in the head. It was beautiful.
But he ate it. He didn't get knocked out, though.
No,
right?
but he was wobbling so I didn't think he was going to make it because then Edson jumped on him after he fell down.
If Cowboy got hit with that shot, flatline.
All right, can we stop the Cowboy hate, dude? I'm sick of the Cowboy
not moving.
hate.
They probably would bring in the stretcher for him if Cowboy got hit with that shot.
I don't think Diaz would have lasted in that head kick, dude.
Dude, Diaz never gets knocked out. Are you kidding me?
His brother threw in the towel. That's even worse.
Well, yeah, his brother threw in the towel once. True.
And then our boy, Brandon Marat, cartel debut, 4-day notice. McKinney made pretty quick work.
Yeah.
I was pretty sad. That's a tough fight, though, dude. Fighting McKinney as a debut, that's a really that's a tall order.
On short notice, too, but I feel like, did you watch the fight?
Yeah, I did.
Did he,
via 20 seconds? It was literally it was just a quick little exchange, and then McKinney just came in with like a kind of like a close range flying knee and just knocked him back. They said his lights went out. I don't think his lights went out. I think he just got blown back, and then McKinney just hopped on him, and then he just shrimped up.
Okay. But you don't think he has like a weak chin or anything?
No, I mean, dude, he's a boxing style, so I don't think you can. Yeah, I think it's hard. You can't really judge the kid. I feel really bad for him going into debut, going against T-Rex like that, and just getting
that's gotta
blasted
suck though.
in 20 seconds.
If your specialist is stand up and you get knocked out on your feet in 20 seconds,
Dude, he's fighting Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney's a dog.
Yeah, but
dude.
Terrence McKinney's not like. Is he even top 10?
He's not top 10. He will be. He'll be a contender in that division for sure. I really do. I like McKinney a lot. He's had a lot. He's been in some battles in there. He's been knocked out. He's done knocking out. He's seasoned. He's young. I think he's gonna be really good.
He's a real fighter.
I think he's a legitimate fighter. He's very well rounded.
Yeah, there's a difference between a good someone who's a real fighter and a real athlete.
He's a great athlete for sure.
Yeah.
But I think he is gonna.
And
be
when they
good.
combine, and you're like John Jones, you're the best of all time.
Legit the best of all time. And then, dude, so the other fight, Yanez coming off a loss against Rob Font, went against Martinez. Martinez TKO'd him with calf kicks. He blew his leg off, dude.
I picked Yanez too.
Yeah, I picked Yanez. I thought he was gonna bounce back. I mean, you could see he was limping. It was not as bad as Uriah Faber Jose Aldo fight where Faber had to get picked up. I thought that was gonna end up being the case, and you could tell after the round. He was like, "Oh my god, I can't imagine." You could see he couldn't even. He was limping wicked bad. He couldn't even move. And then he came out at the start of the round. He looked pretty good, and then he started getting backed up against the cage. and then he got a couple more leg kicks, but he was swinging. He was looking for a knockout with his back against the cage because he knew he wasn't going to last any longer. You could see it.
I respect that, though.
Yeah, he was literally going out swinging, then he just kicked his leg out from under him, and then he just like laid there. I don't even know if he even laid another shot on Yanez.
Dude, you got to be able to check leg kicks like in the modern times. You know, they're gonna chop the fucking legs down on you.
I think that's why Strickland's so good. He's so upright. He can check those leg kicks so well.
Yeah. Well, even when you see like Izzy versus Pereira when they fight, it's like so high level like striking that they're like pretty much standing like straight up. Like it looks real weird.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why Izzy had a tough time with him. He's so unorthodox. But yeah, that was my calf just watching it. I was in pain watching those leg kicks. And just like I couldn't understand how like bad that was. Like trying to walk out of the cage and like walk home after that.
So was it like right here?
Yeah, it was on his calf, dude. He just chopped the shit out of it, dude. It was insane.
It's like what Dustin Poirier did to McGregor in their second fight.
Yeah,
just chop at that.
Yeah,
calf.
like what Aldo did to Faber. I'd say it was closer like to Faber.
Well, Faber was up here.
Yeah, but still, like he wasn't moving. Like,
Yeah.
and he had to get picked up and carried. Like I thought Yanez looked.
And he was
like,
on.
Yanez could have
crutches.
used a little pick me up. That's how brutal it was. That was insane.
Okay.
All right, so we recapped the fights. We went over next week. We have our pound for pound rankings. Everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite.
Everybody. Thank you for that delay.
Everybody's favorite.
Do you not like it? Do you want to change it?
No, I'm down.
I know we're trying shit out here.
I'm down for it. Let's do it. Yeah,
All right.
we
pound
gotta
for
get...
pound. So what we're gonna do is we rank our top three in whatever the category is. We have our prospect is your third, contender is your second, and then champion is your number one. So do you want to do the honors? Do you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
All right. So so this category this week is we're getting the Spooktober mood. Best horror movies.
Yeah, we're doing horror movies. Shout out Joey G. Okay, so my prospect, so my third string here, classic Get Out. You seen it?
Of course I've seen it. I've seen all of Jordan Peele's movies.
Why are you giving me that look then?
I don't know. It's a little surprise. Usually that's like not in the mix of like someone's like top three of a horror movie. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but that's a little surprising to hear.
It is surprising for me too because it kind of did have a happy ending, and most of my favorite movies don't have happy endings.
You hate happy endings,
but
You're
these
just a
aren't
miserable
like.
prick,
But
aren't
this
you?
isn't like our best horror movies of all time. Like doing research, guys. This is like we had 2 minutes to pick three, so I picked three that I watched within the last like year.
It's a recency bias.
That are like that are like in my head.
All right,
you know?
recency bias. Okay.
Number 2, just watched this last week. Evil Dead Rise with Molly. Not a happy ending. Not a happy ending on that.
That's
one.
the second one, right? That's the new one. The new second one.
Yeah, that's the one that came out like this year.
Yeah, I thought that was okay. I think the first one was way better.
So you watched it? You saw it?
I've seen both. Yeah, I've seen the first one and the second one.
Okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
I liked how it was like you found out pretty early. Like, oh shit, it's not gonna be a happy ending to this. They were dropping early.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's how the movie opened up. Was the end? The beginning was the end. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it.
And then my champion here, which me and Molly just watched this past weekend, so I have a lot of recency bias for it. An A24 film, great reviews. Talk to Me. Have you heard of it?
Talk to me. Who's in that?
I don't think there's any like notable.
Talk to me. Is that on Netflix or something?
No, we had to rent it. It was $6, $5.99.
Talk to me.
It was a good watch though, dude. Again, not a really happy ending.
Talk to me. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got a
Real
very
good, though. It got
very
great
interesting
reviews,
list.
too. It got great reviews,
Oh,
too.
I've like strolled by this.
Obviously, if we did research, we'd go back to like the classics, like from the 80s.
I have
and
one.
shit.
I have one classic in mind. One classic.
Like from like the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, I have an
Okay,
older. Yeah.
So I
Talk
haven't
to
seen
Me,
any
too.
of those in like 5 years.
You know
so
what
I
does
don't-
look good is the new Exorcist. Just to throw that out there. That
I know,
new
it
Exorcist
does.
looks very good.
Yeah, I'm pumped
Maybe
for
we should
that.
see that together.
I'm pumped for that.
All right. So you had Get Out, Evil Dead Rise, and Talk to Me.
Yes.
Is your top three. Okay.
Yes.
So my prospect for my favorite horror movie, The Conjuring, the first one.
Okay,
That-
classic.
Saw that in theaters. I've never been so scared in a movie theater in my life.
That's a classic.
That was without a doubt a classic. The second one was also fantastic. I had a hard time choosing.
Fun fact on the second one. The second one is the guy who murders like the crazy guy who murders people in the barn, right? The second one.
The second, what the fuck are you talking about?
The second Conjuring.
The second Conjuring is the precursor to The Nun. It's when they're in England. It's like their Amityville Horror.
Is there a third Conjuring then?
There is a third. That's the one. It's the devil made me do it. That's the one. The guy who was like fighting like
Yes.
against the court that he was
Dude,
possessed.
so fun fact. I didn't know this till I watched the movie. his lawyer is my next door neighbor where I grew up in Connecticut.
What?
Next door neighbor. And I looked up articles, and there was like an article where like my neighbor, the lawyer, was like, I wasn't really a believer in all this shit, but I am now. And I was like, dude, oh my God.
No
So
way.
this is close to home.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Laurens lived in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I actually, me and the fiance, we watched.
Annabelle is in Connecticut still. That doll.
Yeah, is that we should? I want to go to their museum. We'll put that on the list. But yeah. So The Conjuring was. I love The Conjuring. The first one was great. I think all three of them were. I enjoyed all three of them.
Yep.
My number 2, the contender. My contender, Jaws. You tell me you go in the bathtub after watching that movie, you're not looking around? You're not a little uncomfortable in that tub, dude?
Yeah, see, I disagree. None of the shark movies ever scare me, to be honest with you. None of the horror movies about sharks.
How old were you when you watched Jaws?
Probably like 10.
Oh yeah, I was like 6, so I was significantly younger.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I those extra 4 years of thinking that a shark was in a pool
Yeah.
terrified me. It haunted me for a long time.
Yeah.
Still kind of does, dude. I feel something brush up against my foot.
Those are a big
I'm
4
low-key
years to
freaking the
not
fuck
be a
out.
pussy.
Pat, remember we were down in Bermuda and we were snorkeling and the boat brushed up against me and I thought it was a shark and I fucking screamed like a little girl? Fact. He made fun of me when we got back on the boat.
What's
And
your
I tried to play it
champion
off.
here?
Yeah,
What's your champion here?
My champion, this is like, it's kind of like your Get Out, like kind of surprising. Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Bro, classic.
Dude.
Classic Cabin in the Woods.
It's scary, it's funny, it's like a joke on horror movies, but it has like everything you want in it, and it's like, oh, like this is like the prototype of like the format of every single horror movie. And it was
Yep.
it was everything about it was awesome. I thought it's one of the funnest movies to watch.
Yeah, I watched that at a sleepover with my buddies in like high school, and I was like, damn, this movie's scary.
I snuck into that movie because I was 17. I was like 16 or 7. I was underage when that came out. I think that was like, 13? So
I think it might have been my first time ever smoking pot when I watched that too.
Wow.
I think so. So it really freaked me out.
Well, no, then that kid was like on the medicated weed. No, that was another funny. He was like the stoner. That was wicked funny. That movie, and like the ending, like when they like get inside and like all like the monsters get out, that was insane.
Yeah.
The merman part was wicked funny too. The guy got eaten by the merman. But Cabin in the Woods, I snuck into that at the Kingston movie theater. And me and my buddy who went, because the opening is the two like the dad from Step Brothers and the guy from Billy Madison. And like they're in the office, and I sat there for the first 5 minutes, and I was confused. I thought I snuck into the wrong movie. That's how it started out. Yeah. And then boom, Cabin in the Woods on the screen, and then it was off to the races after that.
And then
Had
you
a
were like,
blast.
were you alone, or did you sneak in?
No, me and my buddy snuck in because
Okay.
that movie theater was one long hallway. So like you had like the front counter, and then like you walked around the corner, and then it had all the movie theaters were down one hallway. So
Yeah.
it was super easy to see.
I was gonna say sneaking into a theater alone to see a horror at 17 would have been a red flag too. I might have had to cancel this podcast if you were doing shit like that in high school.
No, I actually had friends. I've gone to the movies alone a couple times.
Well,
but
yeah,
I
everyone has a couple
was,
times,
I
yeah.
was, yeah. I think I saw The Shallows.
But if you
alone.
were driving up, like I'm sneaking into this fucking horror movie alone, weirdo.
yeah, in high school, yeah, you need to have friends, dude. That's some school shooter shit,
Yeah,
dude.
100%.
Very scary,
Yeah.
scary stuff. All right, dude. So Get Out, Evil Dead Rise, and Talk to Me.
Talk to me, banger. You have to watch that and report on it next week.
Okay, I will report. That'll be my homework. And then I had The Conjuring, Jaws. I can't believe you didn't think Jaws was fucking scary, dude. And then Cabin
It's
in the
not
Woods.
just Jaws though. Not because it's old. It's like any of these shark movies. Like Molly loves them, like the horror shark movies. But they just don't. I don't know. They
I
just
don't really
scare me
care.
as
Like The
much.
Shallows was really good with Blake Lively. I thought that was probably one of the better shark movies that's come out in the last like 10, 15 years. What's the one with Mandy Moore, where she's in the cage?
I don't know. I don't watch these. Into the Blue, maybe.
That's gonna drive me crazy. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. That was a really
Deep.
good one.
Could be Deep or Into the Blue, something like that.
Let me know. I have it right here. Hold on. It's gonna drive me nuts. It's gonna be like a cancer in my brain until I remember it. Was it 47 meters down? That's what it
Okay.
was. Yeah, the cage, the chain snaps, and they sink to the bottom of the ocean with like a rogue shark going around. That was fun. The Meg was awful though. I hated that movie. I try not to watch shark movies. I think they suck overall.
Yeah. So we agree in general.
Yeah.
Just Jaws still freaked you out because you were 6 years old when you watched it. and you
Dude, that
haven't watched
movie
it
still
since.
holds up in my opinion too.
Have you watched it since you were 6 years old? Or are you just saying that?
No. I've watched it all the time. I think it's
Oh,
one of
okay.
the best movies.
And
of
every
all
time you're like, oh damn, I can't go in the bathtub today.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a shower tonight. Can't bathe and get the bubbles going, dude. I'm gonna be way too paranoid in there. All right. So segment 1 down, and now we have a new segment that we want to do.
Yes, we're very excited about this segment. We're going to have 3 new names every week, people. It's Fuck, Marry, Fight. And the 3 people we have for this week are Ronda Rousey, Laura Sanko, and Paige Van Zandt. Mikey, take the floor.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go first. We'll see if they match up. I already have mine in my head, so I already know what it
All right,
is.
well, I'll let you go. I'll play off of you because I haven't really thought about it. I was way too into the horror movie segment to really give this a thought.
Okay. I'm marrying Laura Sanko, guaranteed, 100%. That's a lock. Like
Mortal lock, dude. Mortal lock of the week, Laura Sanko.
Beautiful, great talker. Has a good job. Doesn't fight. Doesn't get the shit kicked out of her all the time anymore. So she's gonna be the wife. She's. Who would be? We gotta put Megan O'Leary on this list next week. She's like wife material.
Yeah, who she married to Benavidez, right?
Yeah, Benavidez.
Yeah, Benavidez.
But I'm marrying Laura Sanko. I'm definitely fucking Paige Van Zandt, guaranteed. She got all the fan sites going on now too. I don't subscribe, just so you guys know. But she's an attractive lady. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm fighting and I'm knocking out brutally Ronda Rousey. You have Edmund will be in her corner. Head movement. Just eating my shot. Neck snapping back. No remorse.
All right.
Team Misha Tate, dude.
Oh, I love Misha Tate. Love Kat Zingano, too, by the way. We just lost to Chris Cyborg in Bellator.
Oh, yeah, and then we're doing our sleeper picks. So we're picking our sleeper of who we think is just an underrated, slept on, maybe not like mainstream, real hot, like UFC personality,
Okay, so do you want to do sleeper picks after I do my 3?
Yeah, I'll do sleeper picks after you do your 3.
I'm like you, mortal lock, without a doubt, Laura Sanko. Marrying. No doubt in my mind.
Okay.
No doubt. There's no way I'm not fucking Ronda Rousey. The woman who broke into the UFC and made female fighters actually make people want to watch.
See, you don't really want to.
She's gorgeous. I'm in on that, dude.
You don't really want to fuck Ronda Rousey.
She's also an Olympic bronze medalist, dude.
You just want to be Eskimo Brothers with Dana White and Brendan Schaub. That's all you want.
Is that
you want to do it so
that Dana and
immediately when you leave Ronda's apartment, you're gonna start a group chat with Dana White and Brendan Schaub and be like Eskimo Bros, like brothers for life.
Yeah, I'll be sloppy thirds, dude. I'll take the hit for the team.
And no, it's not guaranteed that Dana fucked Ronda. That was just a Schaub thing. Schaub said that. Schaub, when him and Dana were going to war, was like, "Oh, we're Eskimo brothers. We should be on the same team."
Yeah.
When Schaub did body Dana.
Oh God. Ronda Rousey. I can't believe you don't like Ronda. Oof.
So you're fighting Paige Van Zandt then?
I'm fighting
She's
Paige
like 120 pounds, dude.
Exactly. I want to win the fight.
Dude, you win the fight. Okay, yeah, maybe Ronda would fuck you up.
No, I just Laura Sanko's an exception. I'm not really blonde, blue hair is not necessarily my type. Laura Sanko's just drop dead gorgeous, and that's how can you not? But I think Paige, she's gorgeous, but she's just never really did it for me. My sleeper pick. Oh yeah, we'll do sleeper picks. Do you want me to go first in the sleeper pick?
Yeah, you can go ahead and sleeper pick right now.
I don't know if this is considered a sleeper pick. Rachel Ostovich, is she a sleeper pick?
Definitely not. She's one of the well-known, one of the hottest.
Okay.
But great pick though.
Yeah, no, I think she's one of the hottest.
And you know what?
UFC
There's a lot of
debate
over her too. A lot of debate over her too. A lot of people think she looks too fake or whatever. I think she's hot. Though.
I think she's natural.
So I agree with you.
She's just thick, dude, like the milkshake you want from McDonald's, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so I can't have her as my sleeper pick. In the UFC, I'm gonna have to go with Gina Carano.
Okay.
OG. She was in The Mandalorian. Not that I really watched it, but
we'll up that slide.
She was also in Deadpool. So
we'll up that slide as a sleeper pick because she hasn't fought in years. But she was well,
you said neither is Laura Sanko.
Yeah, but
Gina Carano was on Rogan not too long ago. She's still pretty relevant, and she got canceled for bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. She might be a little too.
But she's an OG, dude. She's an OG UFC female fighter.
So my sleeper pick, someone that a lot of you probably don't even know about.
If you say Chris Cyborg, I'm walking out.
No, she doesn't have a great record, but she's got a great family, and she's a dime, dude. And
great family? Why is this coming up?
I'm telling you, I follow her on Instagram. I feel like I know her family. I feel like I know her son. I feel like
Stage 5 clinger.
I'm part of the family.
Jay Griff, Stage 5 clinger.
Hannah Goldie.
Hannah Goldie's
follow her on
pick.
Instagram. She's the shit.
She's a great pick.
She's just cool too. You could tell.
Yep. She's good looking. She's jacked.
I've seen her DMs a few times.
Yeah, that's a great sleeper pick. Is she still on the roster?
She is.
She is.
Yeah,
okay.
she is. She just got beat 2 weeks ago. She just lost her fight.
Who'd she lose to?
Some like it was like a prelim fight. It was kind of a low level.
Like early prelim.
Yeah, I don't even know the name of the girl who beat
No,
her.
Hannah
I
Gold-
bet on her though. She was a heavy underdog. I put money on her. Obviously. Didn't.
Always bet the underdog,
Yeah,
dude.
obviously it didn't pan out,
Always bet the underdog. Yeah, Hannah Goldie's a great pick. That's a great sleeper pick. So what category does she go into as your sleeper pick? Like who would you replace? Like who you?
I'd marry her. I'd marry her over anyone. I'd marry her over Molly right now.
You'd-
If Hannah Goldie gave me one day, I would break up
So
my engagement with
you
Molly
so you
right
would
now.
replace Laura Sanko with her?
Yes.
Okay. I'd probably replace Sheena with Ronda Rousey.
Yes. I would replace my current fiance with Hannah Goldie. Let me make that
Wow.
clear.
So you'd risk it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just kidding, Molly. Obviously.
Clip it. No, I'm kidding. Show it to her. All right, dude. Perfect. Yeah, so hopefully I like that. Fuck, marry, fight. I think that's a keeper. That's a keeper for the group. Any finishing comments, questions, anything we're looking forward to? Any fights maybe you noticed that we haven't talked about that are coming up?
I'm real excited for McGregor's return because I think that them booting USADA is proof that he's coming back within 6 months or earlier. So the question is now, who was his comeback fight against? Is it Michael Chandler still? Or is he getting the fucking title shot, dude? Is he coming in versus Islam? Off the bat, off the rip.
Absolutely hate that matchup. I hate that matchup for Connor.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm a Connor Dick Rider. No way do I want him fighting Islam. I didn't want him
I
fighting.
want him to fight Islam eventually.
I didn't want him to fight Cowboy, dude. After Cowboy, I was like, okay, call it quits. Like, that's it. Ended on a high note. Because especially at that time, Cowboy was still a name, was still doing pretty well. And then you're seeing his descent. I'm just like, oh, like that win is just like a softer and softer win. The more more Cowboy ended up fighting, and then Connor.
So
comes
when they
back.
announced the Dustin Poirier fight, were you worried for Connor at that point?
The first one, no, I was like, oh, he's gonna smoke him, and then
Because he did the
obviously
first
that didn't
time in
happen.
2015.
Oh yeah,
I watched that one.
The
I watched
fir-
that live.
The out of like the last two, the first when Connor got leg kicked to, he got kicked.
I'm a big
Pluto.
believer in Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier is nasty at stand-up. When he got beat by McGregor the first time, I slid in his DMs and I gave him the play-by-play of what he should do next, like his next 2 fights, and he liked it. And then he did the exact fucking thing I said to do. It ended with Anthony Pettis. And I was like, bro, I told you, dude. Like, hell yeah, you listened to me. And then he sent a fist emoji. And I was like, bro, we're pretty much best friends now. So I'm a firm believer that DP is fucking nasty and got better as time went on. American Top Team down there in Florida, nasty camp, by the way. Iron sharpens iron. So they're just training with each other every day. But I did think McGregor was going to beat Poirier for that first one.
I was so worried for the second fight, like for the trilogy. I was so worried, and then Connor broke his leg. That should have just been. I don't think that should be a loss in Connor's column, dude. That should just be a doctor's stoppage. Like his leg snapped in half. Like what the fuck do you want him to do? You can't. I don't think.
Yeah, but what do you give it for DP then? Was it going to be a no contest for him then?
I think it should.
He
I
gotta
mean,
get
if
his
you have
win
a
bonus
medical
at least.
stoppage that severe, it should be.
So he doesn't get his win. So no one gets their win bonus.
You can still get regular bonuses, dude. Fight of the night, maybe. I'm sure, dude. Daddy.
No, you
Dana
get
can
your
do
show
whatever he
money and your
wants.
win money though. So are you not getting your win money if
As
it's
a
no
no contest, I think
Or do you think Dana should hook it
you
up?
should
and be
you should get half your win money. You should get your show money and half your win purse.
I think Dana should. I think you're right. It should be a doctor stoppage, no contest, no loss, no win for DP. But Dana should give him his show and win. Just be like, you know what, you kind of got fucked here. His leg snapped. You were doing nasty. Here's your show. Here's your win. We still have billions of dollars. Here's some fucking.
Yeah,
money.
he should throw a bonus, especially for like the names like that and like that kind of draw. You know how much money they're getting on that pay per view. Like that situation, doctor stoppage, no contest. Everybody just parts ways to get their money and they go home. That's what it should be.
So how did you feel about Stephen Thompson not getting his show money when his opponent missed weight and he didn't accept a new opponent or agree to fight him at a heavier weight?
You should at least get your show money because you showed up and did your job. You did what you controlled what you can
Dana didn't
control.
give him his show money.
Well, then he also turned down a ton of other fights though. And I think they were still working that out. But like they did offer him a ton of other fights and he said no.
He did, yeah. But he made weight. in the
He
deed
should have.
initially.
He should have at least.
So he
gotten
has to
his
take a
show.
fight on 24 hours notice against a random guy, or else he's getting paid nothing at all.
Bobby Green and Kevin Holland do that shit all the time, dude. They're gangsters.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to do that to be like a UFC employee. That's just a
No.
gangster thing.
I
to
think
do.
that he at minimum. I can't remember. I remember like looking into that and like listening to Dana talk about it. I still think he should have at least gotten his show money, at least.
Dana said in an interview was pretty much talking about how there's talking about reimbursement for his camp because didn't the camp cost money? But then he's just breaking even, and he had 6 months with $0. He has to get. I don't know. They got to figure that out. They don't have a fighters union though, so they're at Dana's mercy. So whatever Dana says goes.
You know, it'd be interesting at what the UFC would do for pay-per-views instead of just doing the pay-per-view buy. So like Conor, Poirier, and whoever's like on the undercard, they all get pay-per-view points, right? If you make the pay-per-view, does everybody get pay-per-view?
I don't think so.
No, is it just okay? So it is
For a while, it was just champions. Then I think it became like if you have a big
think
name,
it's-
it's part
I
of your
think it's
contract
still- I
thing.
think it's
like Masvidal was getting pay-per-view for the BMF title thing, like his fights.
okay.
And like I'm pretty sure Nate Diaz was getting pay-per-view at the end of his career with the new contracts. But for a while, you had to be a champion to even get pay-per-views.
Yeah, because like technically, was it Stipe and somebody? No, who was it? I remember listening to Rogan. And
Stipe was getting fucked for a while, dude.
Yeah.
He was getting paid less than his opponents he was beating, like Alistair Overeem.
How does that happen?
Because they're just big name guys that had big contracts. So Overeem was getting $750K no matter what, just to show. So big heavyweight name. So Stipe was getting $600K for show and win, and Alistair was getting $750K. They never really got into the pay-per-view. I don't know how the pay-per-view worked out with that, but Stipe was pissed about it. He was like, I'm the fucking champion. I'm beating these guys. I should be getting the same money as them. You know? Or more.
I had a thought like a couple weeks ago of like, what if the pay-per-view, you could buy the fights individually. So then a fighter who's like fighting for more money would be like, dude, I wasn't even the main event, and look at all the buys that I got off of it. Like they wanted to, like, obviously I'm a draw.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if that would ever end up being
The
a
UFC
thing.
would
If you
nev-
could,
the
they
UFC
never
would never
would.
do
But
that.
that'd be really interesting to see
Yeah.
if maybe they try to like you can buy the.
Because they would only-
you can buy the individual fights as opposed. You can buy the whole card if you want. But you can also be like, I just want to see the title fight. I'll just buy that one, or I'll just buy the co-main.
But
that's all I care about.
people would only be buying the co-main and main event. Like that's the whole thing. Is like
You tell me you wouldn't buy the Bo Nickel
That's the
fight
whole
from
thing is
from
that-
over the summer? You wouldn't buy the Bo Nickel fight?
Well, I mean, if it's a stacked card, you might buy the whole card. You know
Right,
what I
like
mean?
say it's
But
a stack card. You have like five. You have five.
294, for example, I'm only buying co-main and main, guaranteed.
I like the ankle eye.
I don't care about Johnny Walker that much. I could catch it on YouTube after. If we're talking money and it's like
I really like
$10
ankle
a
eye,
fight,
dude. Yeah. Like short money. Like if you just divide the $80 over that entire card, so 5 fights, whatever that is. And
Well,
then
that's the whole thing with the UFC is like they
or you can stagger it and have it be like the champion. Like that one's gonna be like $40. You're already paying for half the card, or like that would be like $50, and the other 3 fights, so the other fights would be cheaper. But that main one, the champion fight, would be more expensive. So you're kind of overpaying for that, but you'd be underpaying for the other if you wanted to maybe. Watch
I
the
see
other
what you're
fights.
saying. There's a lot of complicated math that can go.
Yeah,
into
I'm
it.
just
They'll
saying.
never do
I
it.
think that would be interesting to guys who are saying like, look at like, oh, like I was on that card. I'm obviously a pull. It's like, yeah, but like McGregor was on that card. Like he
Yeah,
was the main
yeah.
event, or like that bargaining chip that they try to use for better contracts. I'd be intrigued if they would maybe ever consider doing that.
So, dude, great idea and all. Did you happen to ride when you went to school growing up? How big was your bus?
It was normal.